Every day at 6 o'clock, I walk into the street, and no matter what I do, I lose. Because I built this boss fight to be unwinnable. So this is my time loop western. It's a newborn brain baby, and I'm still changing its diapers. Our game takes place over the course of one day, and at 6 p.m., there's a duel. And right now, you can't win it. But the interesting part isn't the duel. It's the question, how do you make losing feel fun? I'm new to Godot, so I started this project like everyone else. I made a simple multi-directional movement, nothing fancy. It's a 2.5D game, so it'll hopefully look a bit like Octopath Traveler once I'm done prettying it up. So we have an angled, almost orthographic camera angle now. Not sure if I like it, but it works for testing. Then, I blocked out the town. And if you've done some development yourself, I know what you're thinking. Ryan, shouldn't you make the systems and make sure everything works first before you spend all this time blocking out the world? And to that I say, I'm a level designer at heart and can't stop myself. But I did restrain myself from going all out on environmental design. I only blocked out like 5 buildings and added 1 cactus. The 5 buildings I've made so far are the saloon, railway booth, hotel, general store, and the sheriff's office. They're rough, very rough, but at this stage, the layout matters more than the details, and I just need to know the townfolk can maneuver through these tight spaces with the nav mesh that Godot provides, because I've never used it before. I've only used Unreal and a few proprietary engines for game development, and honestly, I have no idea what I'm doing. Luckily, Godot is incredibly simple to use, and it's made this entire process of switching engines a breeze. But I need to make at least these buildings for now for testing. Eventually, every one of these spaces will matter during the loop. So who's going to be walking around in this world that I'm building? I'm aiming for around 13 main characters, with a few less important ones layered in that will come and go. 13 seems manageable, which probably means it isn't. Why do I do this to myself? Each character needs a routine, a personality, and a reason to exist on the Western Front. Because in a time loop game, if the people aren't interesting, the loop doesn't work. Like imagine a world filled with Nazeems from Skyrim.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Yes.
So let's tie this all together by implementing the actual core mechanic. The entire town runs on a world clock. When it hits 6 p.m., the duel triggers. You lose, for now. And everything resets. NPC positions, object states, environmental changes, the sun, all back to their original place. The only thing that carries over is what the player learned. And that probably scares a few people, but don't worry, I'm going to have a knowledge log of important things that you learned during the loop. This means progression isn't stat-based, it's informational. The only real upgrade is your brain and the things you learned during your loop. Every NPC runs on a schedule, like Stardew Valley. Work at 8, saloon for lunch, maybe break down in your inherited family farm due to drought ruining your crops, and the stress is driving you to alcoholism and despair at 2 p.m. Hell, maybe a small chat with a friend in the streets at 4 o'clock. They should move around and live their lives, whether you're watching or not. Which means the world doesn't revolve around you. It should go on even if you didn't get off of the train at this place. But you did get off the train. And if you are watching, you'll start to notice patterns. And like every good groundhog, you can start manipulating them. I got a lot of inspiration from Stardew Valley for the layout, the NPCs, and the way they go about their lives. One of my favorite things from Stardew Valley is the fact that if you interact with people several different times a day, they might have different things to say. So how do we get there? Well, I added a basic interaction system, press button, thing happens. And with that, I added a modular dialogue system. I used the dialogue manager by Nathan Hoad. Hope I'm saying that right, Nathan Hoad. He added a bunch of really good videos on how the system works and how you can make it your own. My favorite part about his system is that it supports conditional lines that can change depending on variables that I set in the dialogue. Talk to someone first thing in the morning, not until I've had my coffee. Talk to someone a little bit later, and maybe they'll be way cooler. And this is something that I can add into their dialogue tree with variables. I think it's important to have some variety in the order that you speak to people, because by the 5th time you talk to someone, the conversation shouldn't feel exactly like the first time, unless you do the exact same things. Meet someone before breakfast, they might be crabby, but after eating, they might be more welcoming, that kind of thing. Things to consider when reliving the same day over and over again. I haven't talked about him yet. You're a ranger who came to bring this guy in dead or alive. He's killed everyone who's tried to bring him in. Sound familiar? And now you're stuck reliving it every afternoon. At the end of every day, the duel plays out. For now, it's rough, placeholder animations, no timing prompts, and it's unwinnable on purpose. At least for now. So how are you going to win this duel? Well, next I'll be building a knowledge tracking system, which is really nice with Godot's autoload singletons. It's kind of like a brain that's always watching the game. It keeps track of all that you learn between loops. And with that, I'm going to add 2 different types of preparations for the duel. Physical prep. Physical prep would be anything you can do before 6 p.m. to better prepare yourself with your gear or ways to trick the gunslinger. Like pistol cleaning, maybe opening a window in the mayor's room will cause a glare that hits right on his eyes. Another thing that you learn after living the same day over and over again. Or informational prep. Informational prep would be quests you can do to get tells on the outlaw. There are things that can change with each loot, but once you know the secret, you can see what the outcome will be by observing the world before the draw. Like the outlaw's drink choice. Maybe you tip the bartender and have a crazy night, and he ends up telling you when the outlaw drinks whiskey, he steps left in the duel. But when he drinks a beer, he's going to step right. Or maybe finding out who the outlaw's sweet on in town. Complete a quest for the outlaw's lady, and maybe she'll take your side and ask him to turn himself in, which would save a few milliseconds of time from him hesitating. With this, knowing which way he's going to lean, due to the bartender's knowledge, and a bunch of other secrets that I think I'll keep to myself so that you can play the game. You can close that difference, and you can win the duel. And this makes every character important. Everyone has an impact on this world. Everybody knows something about someone, and if you get to know them, say the right things, maybe it'll help you out at 6 p.m. when the duel starts. Anyways, we got a lot done so far in just about a week's time, but I really need to get it into high gear. I'd like to have this done before GDC, the Game Developers Conference, so I can show it off. I'll be attending GDC this year, and I'm even hosting an event over there. So if you're also going to be there, hit me up. And if you're into interesting little indie games, subscribe, because I'll be documenting the progress as this and my other projects are built up. And if you have any ideas you think makes a great time loop, let me know. I love feedback. Anyways, I'm Ryan. This is Rockin' 44 Games, and I'll see you in the next one. Maybe.